podcast. We're feeling good.
Yes.
We're vibing out to the homies' music for just a second. Did you want to get your phone?
We're good.
I'm good, brother.
Hey, come here. Yeah, we need to talk. To be honest, we both know this is gonna happen. But no matter what, you're always gonna be my first love. And that's real. Feel me? Check it out. I don't remember how we met, just who did it. But ever since that first date, I was committed. No longer feeling like a straight, probably something different. You had me locked in the trance within a minute. The way you love me since a child made me so addicted.
What's up, everybody? We're back over here. You're under the street lamp with the Nella fellas. I'm your boy Adam Mendoza. Got your co-host
DB Cooper.
And we have our special guest once again, Sin, back in the house. Thank you for sticking around with us for a second segment, my bro. I appreciate you.
guys. Thank you very much.
We want to start off with the bitch that got clothes on fucking Sin right now, right? Which is music, right?
Man.
So check him out.
So, what is the name of this song that we were just listening to?
Actually, that song's called First Love.
First Love. And when we look you up on Spotify or whatever, are we gonna look up for Sin the artist, or are we looking for Sin? Who are we looking for?
Yeah, actually, so that song it is specifically on SoundCloud. So on SoundCloud, it's Sin the artist, A-N-A. But everybody else is basically Sin the artist, you know.
Okay, Sin the artist, A&A on SoundCloud.
That one's on SoundCloud, but everywhere else is Sin the artist.
Everywhere else, Sin the artist. Okay, got you, man. So what's up, DB Cooper? We had some good talk over here with the homie when we were outside having a little break. Why don't you go ahead and open it up for us, dog?
Well, let's start off. You know, you're originally from Norwalk, right?
Correct.
So kind of break down the demographics on that, right? So there's a east side of Norwalk. Is that what it is?
No, actually, southeast. We're from the southeast LA. Well, we're from Sela.
Salud.
Sela, all right.
Here with the Nella
fellas, and we got a Sela with us. All right,
I'm feeling good about this.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about this. Okay.
We family, you know what I mean?
That's
for sure.
Yeah, so I'm from Norwalk. There's different areas. We're all just one hood.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Respect.
Yeah. So I'm from the one ways, but half my life was in Nevada. And shout out to the Parkside and the Circle. That's all my family.
Oh yeah, hey, respect to everybody out there, you know.
Yeah.
So to everybody, what was it like for you, you know, growing up in Norwalk? You know, you told us a little bit about your childhood off camera, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You shared some stories. We don't have to really go in depth but on that stuff, but like, what was your first taste of the streets? Not necessarily in a bad or nefarious way, but just kind of like where you, I heard somebody call it jumped off the porch. When was the first time you were like, hey, I'm gonna step out and I'm gonna kind of like explore what is my local community?
Okay. Well, actually, I have a lot of family who they're from the hood, but my role model was murdered when he was 16 and I was 8, and that was my uncle. There's actually a story of him in the LA Times. It's a real true story. I had never planned on being part of the gang life. After my uncle was murdered, like a lot of my family, like they strayed away. But when that happened, that put a passion and a fire of hate inside me as a kid.
Yeah.
And that's what pushed me toward the gang life.
Okay.
Wow,
You know what I mean?
at 8 years old.
Yeah, and that's an
Well, I mean, I don't know when you began, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, but at 8 years old, that was when you first began to feel hate in your heart, like for someone that took a loved one from you.
yeah. So I was actually taught hate at a very young age, and people don't realize the actions of one man could alter the future of the next.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So the actions that they had took, I feel like, they made a tyrant because they took my role model, and that's what actually pushed me in that direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which that caused me a trauma and built hate inside me.
So let me ask you this, and I would like to kind of pay homage to our dead, right? So what was your uncle's name, or not even his nickname?
Yeah, his name's Jody Rodriguez. That was Big Jojo.
Big Jojo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, rest in
peace.
Rest in
For sure.
peace.
Yeah. So and I think it's ironic, right? Because it always starts that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before you even hit the street, either something dramatic happens where it leads you to that path of hate, and you want to go ahead and kind of embrace it in a negative way. And there's also the other path where you get that love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you love that shit, and you kind of jump to that. So there's two sides to that coin, right?
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately for yours, it was more so the hate part, right?
Yeah. So
If I could just jump in real quick, just a note to our viewers right here. I don't know if you know, because you lived it, so to you it's just what it was. But as an outsider looking in and listening to to hear that you were 8 years old and already feeling this way, and that your role model was only 16 years old, that's not even double your age, you know. And so this is a shout. This is something, just like a moment, food for thought for you out there. Maybe you're a youngster, maybe you're 15, 16 years old, and you're feeling like maybe you can't affect the world the way that you want to. You have to realize that even though you're still you're a child, basically. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that to say that as society sees it, you're still a child at 14, 15, 16. But just realize that you could still be influencing someone who's a little bit younger than you, and they might be looking up to you. So just put that in heart. Don't think that because you're a youngster, you don't have influence, because you very well may, you know. And, you know, Sin went through it, and he lost somebody that was dear to him. So keep that in mind. You know, every time that you're functioning out there for the world to see, and I guess I'm talking to myself as well, let's make sure that we're putting something out there that if someone does look to us, that they could take something good out of it and find something that's going to make their life a little bit better. Thank you for listening, guys. I'm sorry. It just hit me when you said that, bro. I was like, bro, 8 years old, that's...
Yeah. See, people don't realize a raindrop causes a ripple effect in a large pond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That means you could be a raindrop, and what happens to you affects everybody around you, and so on and so forth, and it goes out. I mean,
so you were active on the streets at 8 years old. Boom, you're on.
No, I wasn't. I became.
That was the catalyst.
Yeah, that was the spark that started the fire.
Okay,
I see.
You know what I mean?
I see.
Because prior to that, I just wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a drawer. I was a kid. You know what I mean? I looked at life in a beautiful light. But then when that happened, it was a very traumatic situation.
Yes, sir.
I had even made a song about it. Like, it was deep. And I remember the night too. I was at my grandparents' house in BG, and then late at night I got woken up by one of my uncles. He's like, "Hey, your grandparents are here. Your grandparents are here." I walk out the hallway, and I just see both my grandmas crying, hugging each other, and both my grandpas talking. And I remember it was rainy, it was stormy, and then they're crying, right? So my grandpa was like, "Come on, little, let's go." I'm like, "Where are we going?" I see my grandma crying. I get in the Camaro. I see my sister, my older sister, and I'm like, "Why are you crying? Like, why are you crying?" And she...
Take your time, big dog.
Yeah, so...
We can take a break, homeboy,
Yeah.
if you want to.
No, it's cool. So...
No, and I think this is a good example, big dog, that, you know, again, there's deep wounds in us because of shit that fucking people go through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is just this is real shit, you know what I mean?
Real fucking moment,
you know?
dog.
Because I ain't gonna lie, at 8 years old, that's a lot of fucking things to process, big dog, you know what I mean?
Way too much.
Yeah, so I get in the car, and I'm like, "Why you crying? Why you crying?" My grandpa says, "Leave her alone." We drive to the freeway. Fuck it, this word's still cut. 2 years gone. Shit, fuck me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's
You know, it's sad to say, man, it happens too often, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens too fucking often, you know? You know, and again, I don't want you to relive that shit, because it is a fucking...
yeah.
You know, you mentioned it very poetically, right? You lived in the light, and then that was the first glimpse of fucking darkness. You know what I mean? You know, so with that being said, let's go ahead and move on, if you don't mind.
No,
man.
that's cool. It's cool.
You good?
Yeah, it was just a moment. Like, you know what I mean? It's okay for men to cry every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay
I agree
to be involved with our feelings. Like, don't hide it.
Yeah.
Accept it. Embrace it. So, yeah. So, my grandpa told me this happened. I was right home. I was just bawling. I got home. My family were... Everybody was there. And I was close to my uncle. That was my fucking hero. Like, and everybody was like, "Are you okay?" I was just dead inside, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when I understood what hate was at a young age. I mean,
Yeah.
That's wow, bro. I mean, I don't think people even realize that a child so young could have such mature emotions, because I think that a lot of us, and I know because I was that guy too, you know, messing around and like, you know, there's kids there at the party and we all think they're not paying attention, but you know what, they are paying attention, dog. And to hear that it affected you in such a deep way, it's like, man, I'm sorry, homie, I don't want to feed into it, dog.
No. I think the reality, G, is this, right? That I think, and this is, I think, missed now, or it's not so prevalent now, but the street is a bitch, right?
Yeah.
And it fucking steals the innocence of kids and turns them into fucking men really quickly, you know? And I think that's just reality, you know? And it's I appreciate you sharing this with brother to me, because,
it's cool,
you know,
cool.
you know, but
I'm glad you chose your wifey the music, and you were able to go ahead and put that other mistress aside, the streets. You know what I mean? Because
she was a toxic bitch.
Toxic ass bitch.
You know what I mean?
Toxic bitch.
Facts. Cause like, I lost my uncle who was my role model. I lost my older cousin who was like my older brother, and I lost one of my best friends all to the streets.
Yeah.
Gang violence, you know. They were all killed, and that had a very big impact on my life.
Yeah.
And I told myself, I wouldn't lose another one. I'll protect my brother to the fullest. You feel me? They say I am my brother's keeper. You feel me?
Yeah.
And those who are loyal to you, you be loyal to them, and you take care of them. That's why I always believe my biggest traits are loyalty and heart. You feel me? And if I can't take care of somebody, I will. And that's
right.
So just one small thing. If you guys could speak up a little bit louder, that'd be great.
Yeah.
For the audio. So let's touch a little bit about your music, right?
Yeah.
So I know we touched on this out there, but you use the word nigga